a super secret location deep within the mountains of Colorado, it's time to strap up, strap in, or strap on with your host, Shenanigans in One Shot. It's From the Ashes Radio!
I love that whenever anybody hears Phil's voice, when they do that intro, that they start to laugh like he just did.
A super secret location.
It cracks me up to no end whatsoever. Where are the comments? Why am I not? Oh, there they are. John,
I'm getting set up.
are you?
Yeah.
All right.
I gotta get the right look.
The angle, the right look.
Folks, welcome to From the Ashes Radio Show. I'm One Shot Seth.
I'm Shenanigans.
Shenanigans Williams, and our guest co-host, the founder and operator of Warriors Next Adventure, Nicholas Ron.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, for our Spanish audience, that was very cool. Really
That's all I
appreciate you.
got.
I really appreciate
We
you
could
hitting.
end up on El Toro Mundo.
We do have
Dude.
Gina, our friend Gina. Yeah, we absolutely could. Is it Telemundo or what's the other one that she does?
I don't know.
She used to do jiu-jitsu with us. It's not Telemundo. What's the other one called? I know.
UBN?
I put on Mexican soap operas and I mute the TV. I'm not really interested in what they're saying.
They're entertaining.
Yes, they are.
They're much better than ours.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
It's awesome to watch. So yeah, but we actually could be, and yeah, especially with our Spanish-speaking co-host for the evening. I appreciate it. Marcelo Reinero is listening. Look what you did.
There you go.
Well done.
Gracias.
Yeah, look at you,
I
man.
should
Donde
probably
está los pantalones? El gato es negro. Good. That's good shit right there, dude. For those that don't know, this is our buddy Nick with Warriors Next Adventure, one of our second favorite nonprofit in the whole world. Why don't you tell the world about Warriors Next Adventure?
It's Warriors Next Adventure. I started it back in 2019 to help vets kind of reorganize and get their life back together. And we run a 24/7 crisis line for vets. They can call anytime they want. It goes right to this phone right here. We've had 118 calls in the crisis line since 2019. They're all still alive, so we're batting 1,000. Doing pretty well. That's got to
be a heavy weight to carry, having that crisis line.
be tough.
I mean, have you had training, or is it just a matter of like, hey, I know where you are, kind of stuff?
No, so I was Air
know
Force
what
Security
you're
Forces, so I was a cop in the Air Force. So you have the training, right, to learn how to speak to people properly and everything like that. Take the verbal judo classes, and then I was with the Minnesota State Patrol for 8 years as a 911 dispatcher and a crisis intervention specialist. So I got a little over 14 years. I mean, if you include the 4 years of WNA, I got about 20 years of training in crisis intervention. So I'm okay.
Yeah,
pretty good at it, I guess. But the cool thing is we have an unorthodox way of helping vets kind of get it back together. We have dirt track racing. We do a yearly mountain climb in Colorado. So if you're in Colorado, you want to climb with us, whenever we're in town climbing, you guys are more than welcome to come join us. We have a jiu-jitsu program, and then we also have a wolf sanctuary in Minnesota. So you want to play some wolves, come to Minnesota.
We have cat fights.
I might steal one of those kids.
It sounds like there's a war going on over there in the security office. Good Lord.
They're right at that prime age where they're the perfect time to be entertained by watching them. And they are a nightmare to have underneath your feet. Two of them are about to go to a home. Two of them are about to go to the shop, barn, and the house will be peaceful again. No more.
Will it?
Definitely not.
Let's say, isn't there a garage full of puppies right now?
Oh, that's out in this barn. That's not in the house.
That's not your heartache?
No, that's not underfoot yet. So, all right. So you're talking about WNA, but you've also taken on a new career path as being a comedian.
Yeah, so I wouldn't call it a career path, but
we certainly would.
Or you're adding it to your resume.
Yeah, so I've been writing.
Is there a check involved?
There is.
Then it's a career path.
I've been writing comedy for about 3 years. I love comedy. I'm a huge fan of comedy. I've been to probably 40 shows in person. I think I've seen everything on Netflix and Amazon Prime and all that stuff.
Yeah. I absolutely love stand-up comedy.
It's my favorite, man, because it's like, if you learn to laugh, you win, So after, the whole Ocean Row thing.
Drill sergeants don't feel that.
I know, dude. That's the funniest place you're not allowed to laugh.
Yeah, isn't it?
That's the funniest shit happened. So there's actually something I haven't told as a joke yet, but it's something that actually happened to me that I'm throwing in my set recently. I initially got in trouble. I was 18 when I joined the military. So you know what happens, right? You were young and dumb. You wake up in the morning and you're just saluting the flagpole. So we wake up to the drill sergeant flipping beds and sheets and everything. And I wake up and I'm standing at attention and I got a big ass boner and I'm like, oh shit. So the drill sergeant comes by. I was like, what the fuck is that? I was like, I'm sorry, sir. I can't control it. He's like, get on your fucking face. So he makes me go down all the way until my boner touches the ground. And
That was
I'm
a
white.
deep push-up.
I was gonna say, I'm white, so it's really low to the ground. And he made me hold it until my boner went away. But I'm a glutton for punishment, so it just got harder.
It could have been the one-handed push-ups.
Oh, you're one of those punching and fucking guys. So,
Now, there's a difference between CEO Nick and comedy Nick. I just need people to understand that.
Anyway, so comedy.
So comedy. Funny story is me and Rob had a conversation this morning, and then we were doing show prep in the prep room, and I said that there was a bus that was heading this way, and I'm totally throwing you underneath it.
Oh shit!
You're gonna get a little bit here. We want to hear a little bit of your comedy.
Oh, Jesus,
I've maybe heard
Christ.
some. Rob's maybe heard some, but these people might not have.
All right. Well, so for you guys in Colorado, I had a show on Tuesday. It was put on my Club 214 by Ashley Eckert. Fucking awesome program. Go check it out.
We love you, Ashley.
Ashley's the shit. And she put on a comedy show, and it was doubled as a fundraiser for Warriors Next Adventure. And so I was supposed to do 3 minutes, but I ended up doing 6, and it was great. The headliner that was there, his name's Greg. He does a show once a month at Avanti. You know where Avanti is?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the Avanti Bar and Restaurant, I believe it's called. But he's got a show coming up on October 18th, and he's like, dude, are you going to be in town? I'm like, no. He's like, man, I was going to book you for my show. I was like, I'll fly in for that shit. So my set went so well on Tuesday that I got booked for my first paid show here in Denver.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited, man.
I'm happy for you. I was pumped when I saw that and heard that and had that conversation, but this is your comedy time.
Well, I mean, you're going to get shit from me all night, but
he's like, no, you need to pre-warn.
Well, a lot of times I lead it off with because I do a lot of veteran stuff, but I do a lot of, other shit too. But, my people are veterans, right? So my comedy is for vets, right? And there's a lot of guys that no matter what, people are going to get it, right? So I make sure to make it so people still understand. I always start my sets off with, I always find it weird when people say, thank you for your service, when I spent the majority of my time jerking off in a porta-john.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people do. And we used to play this game.
Still do.
Yeah, of course, all the time. I was just in one earlier yesterday. But no, we
I had one
used
put
to
in his
time it
backyard
out.
for just that exact area. Yeah.
You know how porta johns are usually stacked right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So you get in there and you hear some rustling around next to you. You know what's going on. You're like, hey, you want to race? It's like battle shits, but
Oh my God, Jake Swedensky is listening, and he's like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Why would you jerk off in a porta john? Why don't you just go someplace else?
Because
It's the only place to go.
You smell the blue goo and use
The blue goo.
we
That's
used
awesome.
to play a game. The klaxon alarm that would go off. If there's a mortar coming in, for you guys that never deployed and don't know, whenever a mortar is going to land within 1,000 meters of where you're at, the alarm goes off. It goes wah, wah. So we always try to time it, right when it blows up. It's called right when it explodes. It's called the explosive ejaculation. I did it once and there was no one around, and I was so sad.
Well, it's because you were in the middle of the motor pool is why.
Well, I wasn't in Portage.
Yeah. It makes everybody in the talk really uncomfortable.
There's no inappropriate material that I do at all, if you can't tell.
That's the best kind of comedy.
All right, so while you guys are here, we need to talk about a couple little things. Last week, for Carl, we talked about the F-35 pilot who ejected, and one of the things that came up.
Not ejaculated.
Both, either could have been, one could have precipitated the other. You never know. And so we put out on the show that we want to know what his new pilot name is going to be. And that was because we had Robert Garcia on last week, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that guy's getting a whole new nickname for his flight career."
For sure.
And so, Joanne, I'm glad you're listening. So there are two ones that I really liked. It was Milk Carton, which I just thought was fucking awesome, and the other one was Waldo. I'm not going to say who has which one, but which one do you think is the winner?
What about premature ejector?
That was one of it. Yo, Joe Allen. Yo, Nicholas Ron. Yes, that was it. That was one of the good ones as well. But Milk Carton and Waldo are the two that are in the lead.
I like Waldo.
You like Waldo?
Yeah. Did you hear the 911 call?
I did.
There's a 911 call. He called 911.
The guy that they interviewed?
No, the guy who ejected.
Yeah. Oh, he called 911.
Yes, there's a 911 recording, and it's all over TikTok right now. Because he had to say, he's saying, get people out to go find this plane. There's going to be a crash. There's going to be fire and like that. So if I find the TikTok video, I'll send it to you guys, and you can share it on the page.
But didn't he like call his chain of command? Like, isn't that a chain?
Well, I think all he had was a guy found him, and he used this guy's cell phone to call 911.
Oh my god!
And that's the interview I saw.
I didn't
the guy,
read any more of the story past it was lost.
The
I just
interview is amazing. The guy's like, I'm just standing there underneath my, because he's got a sunshade there. And he's like, and all I heard is, wee! And he's doing the imitation of that. And you're like, what the fuck, dude?
I love it.
Joe Allen, you did not win. Sorry. So I'm going to have to go back and the person who claimed Waldo. You are going to get a package of stickers from our friends at Project Zero. Joe Allen, Milk Carton was a strong contender.
It was
dude.
my favorite.
It was, yeah. It was a
like
good
Milk
one.
Carton too. That's good.
Which one?
Milk Carton is good.
Yeah. Well, if you think it through, Waldo should be the winner because think of how far you can take that joke.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
For sure.
he that's like a career ender. He's gonna get his command photo and like Waldo will be in the background.
Oh,
Like shit, like he's gonna have a Waldo tattoo. It's gonna go on for years. So yeah,
I'll start photoshopping Waldo in all of his photos.
yeah, it's exactly right. Exactly. It's gonna go on. That joke is gonna go on for absolutely years.
As it should.
As it should. I agree completely. This week's Waldo. God damn it! Now it's gonna start like that. This week's Carl is an easy one. It is our nation's press. What a bunch of retards. Can you say retards? You can say retards.
No, you're not supposed to.
Depends on the
No?
situation.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you
hold
can
on.
retard anything.
Are they retarded? Like literally? Because if they're not,
I
then
think
yes,
so.
you can call them that.
Yeah, I think so. In my opinion,
I should
because
say, are they developmentally disabled? And if they're not, then yes, it's proper to call them that.
well, I'll let you guys decide and audience decide. You guys would have to tell me. So, listening all over the news today was, hey, government shutdown is coming, blah, 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 blah. Is our nation's military and Department of Veterans Affairs going to be funded? And everyone is so scared. Such a bunch of bullshit fear-mongering. A law was passed before the last government shutdown. If you are listening to this, if you're in the military,
You're getting paid.
you're getting paid. The VA, you're going to get paid. Yes, shit may be a little bit slower. Your shit will get paid. You are going to be taken care of. Stop it. Do not buy into all of the things that they're selling you on the media, on the news right now. They're just trying to get you stirred up. It's a bunch of bullshit. And that is our Combat Carl for the day. God, I hate those people sometimes.
Well, before we even get going much further, I want
Okay.
to make sure we don't forget about some things.
hit it.
So, if you don't want to turn into some little beta bitch wearing Crocs, go to Combat Flip Flops. I got some kick ass shit. What's the code for Combat Flip Flops?
One shot. No, excuse me. No, about face. About face.
About face. You get 30% off.
30% off. We get 15% of that.
All right, automatic. Donation to nonprofit. Hey, thigh huggers.
Damn, that's a lot of leg.
It's a lot
And
of.
everything
It's
else.
because
I
they're
would say
cut
it's not
properly.
enough.
I was saying.
Well,
That's awesome.
I agree. They need to heighten those inseams. Thigh huggers, go down there, get some cool shorts. Coupon code one shot, no space, and again 30% off, 15 to the nonprofit.
You're good at this. You're
No.
Mm.
Oh, I am kind of dressed all the way through though. Listen,
Yeah, what's the
I
deal?
have an ASL dumpster hat from our boy Matt,
Uh-huh.
veteran company.
Yep.
Rent a roll off through him.
Yep.
I got Ragnar Tactical, which is a shooting, training, self-defense company by our buddy Graham. So I'm like definitely pimped out, except for I'm rocking Crocs. But
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, as I
they're
said,
not combat foot.
what was the camouflage Crocs joke I think I sent you the other day?
You did send me one.
That was pretty. And you're like, I want to kick you in the side of my head.
No,
Hey,
you're making fun of my Crocs, and I was like, I'll put my fucking Crocs upside
so your head, yeah, it was really funny. I was like,
Dude,
okay.
I told this dude that one time. I had just gotten done with a breast cancer fundraiser at my last gym, right? So I was wearing like fucking pink shorts, pink shirt, fucking Crocs and shit. And I'm going to this dispensary, right? Already pissed off because at that time I didn't smoke pot whatsoever. I was picking up for somebody. And I'm like irritated as shit. I'm like running out, long day. This dude's like, hey, you go and pick me up some shit. I'm like, motherfucker, it's recreational. Go on and get your own. I want my ID. I'm like, go and get your own shit. And he started to like get pissed and start talking shit. And I looked at myself. I looked at him. I'm like, dude, you do not want me to put my Croc upside your foot. Like, you want me whooping your
Today's
fucking-
not the
Look at
day.
this. Can
That's
you
gotta be
imagine
the most
you know what I mean?
embarrassing way to get knocked out with
Oh,
a Croc.
A Croc.
I'll bet it's on the list.
It's
I don't know if
probably
it's
on the
the
list.
most embarrassing, but it's on the list. I guarantee that.
I did get uppercut by my autistic 10-year-old the other day too. That almost put me out. Not gonna lie, I was wobbling after that.
I mean, I feel like I need this story.
So my youngest daughter, Chuck, we call her Chucky because she's a psycho. Great kid, love her to death, but this kid's got an attitude. She doesn't speak; she's nonverbal, so she can't really communicate very well how she wants it. She uses this iPad called a Talkie. She can put buttons and say like, there's like if she wants Cheerios, there's a Cheerio button, stuff like that. But she had Cheerios like 95 times that day, and I'm like, no more Cheerios, and she just looks at me and just hits me with an uppercut. I'm like, okay, are you angry? Are you mad? What's up? Like, calm down, bud. So it happens a lot, dude.
Can I get a talkie?
Probably. That'd make it a lot easier for you.
I bet you there's people who they would love to have you only have 6 words. A picture resembles what you do.
I'm married to one of them.
I was going to say it.
The funny thing is, when she really wants something, she'll press like ice cream. She'll go ice cream. She'll press it 100 times. And it'll keep saying ice cream, ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. She pressed it like 42 times once, and it would not fucking stop. And I couldn't stop this damn thing. So I'm like, we need a mute button on this fucker, because she doesn't really know how to communicate. She doesn't understand no. She just knows that she can't get what she wants, so she freaks the fuck out. And the only way she knows how to tell you she's pissed is to fucking uppercut you. So you got to keep your hands up.
I wish that was the only
way
I could tell people I was upset with it, because then I'd be more excusable, right?
It's true. Get past it.
In my head.
So we have Nolan Vineyard with us, as well as Rob Langston. What's up, Nick? Remember the horses?
Yeah, so
Is this a story you really want to tell on public radio?
Yeah, I will. So
what is happening over there?
There's a cat UFC going on over there.
There is.
But there's I'm in this program, and I'm open to talking about it because I actually want to tell veterans about this. And I'm actually working on getting Warriors Next Adventure connected with Marcus Institute. So I'm actually here for the 3 weeks for the Marcus Institute of Brain Health. I've had multiple TBIs. I had 4 in the military. I got knocked out twice in MMA fights. I played hockey as a kid, so I had a bunch of them. So I call it Dame Bramage. So I'm a little slower these days, but Nolan's actually in the course with me. So he's been open with talking about it and stuff like that. So Nolan's actually been great. So when we did the equine therapy on Saturday, I'm fucking deathly afraid of horses. They scare the shit out of me, dude.
As they should.
They're fucking massive.
Yes.
So
and they're temperamental.
So we're doing this horse therapy thing, and at lunch we're walking over, and they got a bunch of other stuff there, and there's a mare there, right? And a mare is a cross between a horse and a donkey, right? And everyone's
okay.
Yeah, so it's just a little donkey-ish looking thing, and so I look at it as like, isn't that called a honky? It's ironic that it was black, but I'm not calling it that racial slur. We'll put that one on. That's for the brothers' perspective.
Yeah. That's dangerous ground right there. That's awesome. Hey, Seth.
No.
Hang on a second. Yes. Let's say that you were getting ready to do. Yeah, they are. Getting ready. You're thinking about doing stand-up comedy, because you're going to go and you're going to open up for Nick.
I've thought about it a ton. This is a common conversation.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you have a story that you like to tell?
Let's go Friday.
No. Is that because the story's upstairs and it was within striking distance?
No. It's because I keep thinking about it, and like I consider myself a humorous person, but I'm like on the cuff, like in conversations, talking about subjects, good at humor, and I don't mind spotlight being on a stage whatsoever. That never bothers me, but
clearly
not in a joke sense. I need that back and forth shit. So I don't know.
Kaylee Kunkel is watching. Well, welcome to the show, Kaylee.
What's up, Kaylee?
Yeah.
Also, Rob, what's up? I didn't forget about you. I just didn't see your name pop up. Rob's another guy I'm actually doing this with. He runs a nonprofit organization called Boots Laced Up in Texas.
Oh yeah.
And so they're fairly new, but they're going to start sending veterans on hunting and fishing trips. So I'm actually working with Rob, and I'm helping him get some things figured out because I've started 19 nonprofits now.
Sounds like Rob needs some exposure.
Yeah. Go check out Boots Laced Up, man. They're doing a lot of good stuff. I actually hooked them up with Phil Blackman.
Oh,
he lives right by Phil.
Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah, so
best of people.
Yeah, Phil is like one of the coolest dudes. I fucking love that guy. He was one of my instructors in the Air Force for like EOD stuff.
What?
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Are you serious?
Yeah. So
how has this not come up in conversation here before?
I don't know. I guess I just assumed you knew. I don't know. I told you.
No.
Yeah.
Imperative information.
Yeah, so pre-deployment training, we had to go through stuff as Air Force Security Forces. We did convoys, and so we had to do all kinds of route clearance stuff like that. And Phil Blackman was one of our instructors down at, I think it was in El Paso. What is that? That's Creech Air Force Base. No. That's what base is that? Fort Bliss.
Yeah.
So he was one of our instructors at Fort Bliss. That's why I met Phil.
Ladies and gentlemen, Friday nights, the PDB show, the Philip D. Blackman show here on About Face Radio. Give it a listen. You'll love him.
Phil is a fucking natural too. Like
He is.
He called me when he first got started and was asking me pointers. I'm like, dude, you don't need pointers from me. You just get on and start talking, dude. Because he's got the radio voice. Like if
He
I
has
was
a radio voice.
I was talking to him about my book. I'm writing a book called The Warrior's Path to Inner Peace. It's about the 6 principles that I use for veterans. It's called the 6 principle process. And I called Phil the other day. I was talking to him. He's like, you know, if you want me to voice record for your Audible book, and I'm like, nah, I'm going to do it myself. I'm like, but goddamn, if I'm going to have one person do my book, it'd be him.
It would totally be him.
That he's awesome, man. I
Yeah,
like him.
silky smooth, and yes, I can't say enough good things about PDB. I love that guy. So yeah, he's awesome.
The cat's going away. See, but
You posted, well, it's because their other wrecking crew came out of a fucking security office and whatever. My son and I were watching. You posted a couple of clips from your comedy show.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I talked about the first time I came to Denver. I fucked up and I took some edibles, right? And I don't look at the dosage. I had never taken edibles at the time, and so marijuana was illegal in Minnesota. So I took an edible, and then I was like, this doesn't do anything. But it was only 15 minutes. I take another one.
It's a
And then
common
I took
mistake.
another one. And then I took another one. I took 60 milligrams of THC.
So then there you are on the other side of the universe, flying high.
I was like, you know, have you ever been so high you're sitting there, you grab something, you look at it, you just start scrolling? Like, oh, this is a coaster. Oh,
Why am I scrolling through the Windex bottle? And why isn't it scrolling?
my girlfriend caught me watching TV and the TV was off. It's embarrassing, man.
That's fucking hysterical, dude. That's awesome. Amanda Biggs is watching. Amanda, welcome to the show. Nathan Eichhorn, good evening, gents. Good evening to you. Welcome to the show. Glad you're here, man. Hey, did you love PDB? Yes, everybody loves PDB. We know. Eichhorn, did you win the hunt? Did you get are you going elk hunting? What's the deal there, man? You should have your results by now.
What's the elk hunt?
He was trying to win. He needed to get like so many votes to get some very expensive elk hunt. And so he was encouraging us to go on and vote for him. And so we were.
Nice.
Yeah. But
Hope you get
whatever.
it, man.
What do you call it? Speaking of Porta Johns, how old were you when you first discovered that you could play with it and some good shit happened?
A Porta-John?
Yes.
What do you mean?
I think you know exactly what I mean.
Oh, so I mean, they talk about, you know, jerking off a lot in the military, right?
Do they?
Well, yeah, of course, you know, but it's a stress reliever for a lot of people.
Is it?
You know, the problem is, you know, when you're going and you get
I'm being assaulted.
you ever heard of Poseidon's kiss?
No.
It's when you
Yes.
take a shit and the water splashes up and kisses you on the butthole.
Oh,
It's the worst, man. That'll lose a boner real quick.
I won't. Yes, it will. I will not take a dump in a Porta John. I will not. Absolutely. I will go in the woods first. I'm like,
unless I'm deployed, I basically won't even go. I won't go in one.
yeah, I don't.
Unless it's like, I mean, you know, there's times where you're like at a game or something where you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, exactly.
My
But
standards are really low. I'll shit anywhere. I don't care. I just took a shit in his bathroom. Before I came back.
I legitimately do prefer.
that's not a bathroom.
I prefer.
Was that a bed? Oh
I
no!
prefer-
Call me Amber Heard.
We don't have any bathrooms on this floor.
I prefer public shitting though, rather than my own shit.
Which
You know,
is
every-
super weird on the 16th Street Mall.
Every mountain climb I do, no matter what, I shit at least 3 times. So like one of the first things I pack in my backpack is toilet paper.
What the heck?
I
I
shit a
can't,
lot
dude, I
too.
can't help it. Every mountain I've climbed, I've pooped down.
John Oak says Okie 96. What the fuck's Okie 96?
Okinawa in 1996. Probably the first time we found a Porta John.
Ah, I wasn't keeping up with that. I love the all laid out there. That's the boss, by the way. He runs this whole joint.
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah, that's. They sucked when it was 120. Is this what the whole show is going to be about? Porta Johns?
Yeah.
Well, you
It's probably
swear-
not.
Hey, it's good for weight
The
loss.
fire
okay?
was going out. You just squirted some lighter fluid on it.
Well, you know,
Junior
saunas-
is a regular listener
Yes, I know.
and is probably listening now.
Okay.
When we lived in Maryland,
Yes, he found a Porta John.
my wife and I we're doing our budget because you're in the military, you don't make a whole lot of money. So we're sitting at the kitchen table, we're going through the budget. And she's like, what the fuck did you spend $80 on at Amazon? And I'm like, honey, I didn't even know we had an Amazon account. I haven't spent a dime. I don't know what you're talking about. She's going through and she's like, look, it says it right here. Joe Rosick is watching. Hey, Joe. So it says it right here. It's even your card. Rob Williams, $80. Amazon or $86. And I'm like, baby, I haven't bought anything. I don't know what you're talking about. And she starts digging around, going through, opens up the Amazon account. She's like, they were Kindle purchases. I didn't know you could buy anything. I don't have a Kindle. Oh, kids, grab yep. Grace, where is your Kindle? And she's like, oh, here you go, Mom, right here. She's got like fucking Holly Hobby books on it and shit. Like, good. Meanwhile, my son is sitting on a couch very similar to this one.
Yeah. Not saying a word.
And not saying is suspiciously quiet.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh is right. Hunting. I jumped the whole way up the mountain.
There you go.
I love the conversation. So, Rob Jr., go get your Kindle. Oh, I don't know where it is. I think I left it on the school bus. Okay. Well, you have 5 minutes to find your Kindle. It wasn't my fault. I don't know what happened. And he goes running upstairs.
Deleting shit.
Okay. So he goes upstairs. Sure enough, 4 minutes and 37 seconds later, she comes back downstairs. Here. And he slams on the table and walks out of the room. 10 years old.
Oh, he's 10.
He's 10 years old.
I thought
well, this wasn't last week, guy. But I like where your head is, too. So he slams the thing on the counter, walks out of the room. Flip it open. 96 archived files. Well, let's just look at those. I didn't know you could get porn on a Kindle, much less $86 worth of porn on a Kindle. Good news, he's not gay. One of the proudest moments of my life.
Speaking of horses.
Speaking of horses.
It wasn't foot videos, was it?
Flood videos?
Foot.
Oh, foot. No, it was not.
Okay,
It was.
I'm good then.
It was hot girl on girl, blonde girl action.
Okay.
The search history was fucking hysterical.
I got some sad news for you. You might be a lesbian.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I've been worried about it for a very long time.
The second you said the Amazon thing is, I immediately went to, he bought like a fleshlight. And I honestly,
dude, how much money are you spending on your flashlights?
Just wait.
Would you buy 9 of them?
I didn't know you can buy sex
Twister
toys
9000.
on Amazon, but you can't.
I didn't either. Let me open up another tab.
Jesus.
You use promo code.
Yeah, use promo code about face to get your flashlight.
You guys should make a flashlight.
Oh my
right
God.
On the side, have Rob's face on one side,
No.
your face on the other.
No, I would say the hands. You gotta get and the tattooed knuckles. Oh my God! Thank God. The FCC does not know.
You've been doing it for how old are you?
28.
Yeah, bullshit. It'll be the first time your hand's been on it.
Oh my God. What is that water, Nick? Let's just assume that it is. Yeah, let's go with that. What's in the mason jar tonight? He was punching the clown.
Just water.
I'm fucking dead. Porn on a Kindle. Yes, exactly right, Amanda Biggs. You're exactly right. All right, so one of the most important things that we as veterans go through, we all know we got the anger thing going on. We drive poorly. We get into a lot of trouble.
You did great. Go ahead.
I'm not. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Let's stick with that. Yes. Didn't you recently get an award?
I got a real fucking fancy big award.
Well, our next guest may be able to help you with your award. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk to Troy Lutman about Vet Court. Troy, how the heck are you?
Hey guys, how are you guys doing?
Real good. Can you hear us okay? I guess not. Can you hear us?
I can hear you well. I can hear you good.
Perfect. Troy, how the heck are you? How's your evening going so far? Welcome to From the Ashes.
I appreciate it. Thank you for bringing me on here. You were the first one that responded to that post I put on there, and I really appreciate it.
It's what we're here for, man, finding resources for veterans. I'm sure you'll probably be on better shows, and this one seems unlikely. But yeah, welcome to the show. Are you a veteran yourself, Troy?
I am. A little about myself. I spent 8 years in the Marine Corps. And after I got out of the Marine Corps, I went to college, and I was a police officer for 10 years in Lakewood. After that, I went and I worked for the federal government for about 9 years, and now I'm working for the state with Veterans Court.
Very cool. So tell us about Veterans Court and what Veteran Court does.
You know, that's a great question. And again, I appreciate you bringing me on here. Veterans treatment courts are a type of problem-solving court. And what makes it very different is when you think of a court traditionally, you think of the judge, the prosecutor, the public defender, etc. And there's that almost an acrimonious relationship between the two. But in Veterans Court, everyone comes together. And the whole goal is to serve military veterans that are struggling with an alcohol substance use disorder, a mental health disorder, and/or a traumatic brain injury. And the really, really cool thing about veterans.
Oh,
Well, that's got to be good.
we lost him.
Wow, I've never had a guest quit that quickly. I mean,
I've only seen him quit when you were talking.
Exactly. Yeah, we knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know it was going to happen quite that aggressively. Troy, where did you go, bud?
So a little bit about Vets Court too. So I actually work with Vets Court in Minnesota.
Okay.
Recently, I went to Noni is one of the probation officers there, and so
Collaborate.
Oh, there we go. He's
Oh,
back.
Troy, we lost you for a few minutes. You good there?
Oh, I'm good.
Well, last thing we heard, you were talking about Vet Court, and that's the last thing we heard.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry
blacked
about
out.
that.
No, you're okay. So start from the beginning again. We heard TBI, and that's what we heard. The last thing we heard.
Okay. Well, again, Veterans Court, they present an alternative to jail. They divert veterans away from the traditional criminal justice system and offer a program that provides tailored treatment plans to that participating veteran. The really cool thing about this program is that when you think of your traditional court, you have somewhat of an adversarial relationship between the prosecutor and the public defender, etc. Here, everybody comes together for that particular veteran. And one of the reasons I'm on your show is, and I'm asking for help, each veteran is assigned a veteran mentor. It's a volunteer veteran mentor just to help that person get through the program and basically transition back into life. They offer social and emotional support to veterans, provide veteran companionship, educate veterans on the VA, VSO, filing a claim, be part of a system designed to empower veterans to thrive in a life in a variety of different ways. So that's it in a nutshell.
So real quick, Troy, I actually went to Vets Court before I came here. I run an organization for veterans mental health, but we also do essentially life coaching for veterans. I don't have the fancy letters next to my name, so I can't call it therapy. But I actually just joined the Hennepin County mentor program, so I'll be helping mentor that as well.
Outstanding.
On top of that, I can add another challenge to local nonprofits. Because a lot of these guys have to do community service, and so what we do with our nonprofit is we allow veterans to come with us for community service. And recently, I've been working with one of the probation officers there. We're starting a weekly group because I'm assuming with you guys they have to do social gatherings at least once or twice a week or something along those lines, right?
Absolutely.
So what we're doing is we're doing essentially it's a get together. We meet up at a park, we go hiking, something along those lines. But what we do is it doubles as community service because we are a nonprofit. So what we do is we're gonna bring bags with us and pick up trash while we hang out and talk. So it's a way for them to not only get something out of the group, but also get some community service as well as some further education onto how they can improve their lives. So that's another challenge I'll throw out to other nonprofits is you guys can actually step up and solve that problem. So let's talk after this too, and I can see how I can help you get some more nonprofits on board.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course.
That's kind of awesome. See, this is what we do.
Yeah, I know.
This is what we do. We connect people. We don't even realize we do it, and we do it. We're really good at what we do.
You are.
I agree.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nick, for supporting that.
Very well.
All right, Troy. So talk us through this. So let's say I have a TBI. I get in trouble for riding a motorcycle too fast or something like that. Are you the guy I'm going to be talking to, and what does that look like?
Well, it's a little bit more serious than that. It's usually a felony. So you're looking at something a little bit more serious than a traffic offense. And the whole team comes together and looks at the veteran, looks at their criminal history, what their service was, etc. So it's a collaborative decision that's made to whether or not the person comes into vet court. it's not easy to get in, and a lot of veterans don't want to get into it because there's a lot of fallacies out there about vet court. One is that they think it's like boot camp, which just simply isn't the case.
Well, so from what I've witnessed by going in, I've been in there and sat through one of their meetings at court. You can really tell the judges that are involved in vets court, you can tell they really want these guys to win. I think that's one of the most beautiful parts about it.
You're absolutely right. We have a magistrate assigned to our court, and he has a lot of empathy, and he really cares about the vets, and the vets can see that as well. And that's so important. And it's not only the judge, it's the prosecutor, it's the public defender, it's myself, it's the whole court is just providing these guys a way out of the problem they got into, but at the same time, they're getting treatment for their issues. So that's the beautiful thing about it.
So are you the one who runs the mentor program?
Yes.
Okay. And where are you guys located?
I'm in Golden.
Golden. Okay.
Right at the Jeffco building there. I'm in what they call the First Judicial District, which is Jefferson County and Gilpin.
Okay. So correct me if I'm wrong. Every county, is it every county has vets court, or the majority of them do?
I'd say the majority of them do.
Okay. So how would a veteran get involved in vets court after they had some kind of offense?
Well, oftentimes it's the public defender and the prosecutor that are going to make a recommendation for the vet to get into vet court. We also go to the jail once a week, and we visit the veterans on the veterans wing to get the word out about vet court so the vets can bring it up to their public defender as well.
Okay.
That's I wish I would. I mean, I guess it hasn't affected me yet, but I wish I would have known about that one. There's a ton of people that I know have been in sticky situations, to say the least.
Yeah.
And it probably just, again, a lot of times I feel like the things we struggle with and deal with a lot of times results in poor behavior. If not addressed or not taken care of.
I think a lot of it has to do with seclusion and isolation too, because I know a lot of vets feel like they're all alone, and they have nobody that's actually looking out for them. And the fact that you guys are around, with the mentor program, I love the fact that you guys are helping guide these guys into a different situation, because I've been to the point where I wasn't doing so hot up until about 2015. When I got out of the military in 2012, I spent some time struggling to kind of just find my way. And lucky for me, I didn't get caught. So, but, to know that these programs are around and available for veterans, it's so important that people know about this stuff. So how do you guys get the word out about stuff like this?
One of the things I do is I go, for instance, a couple weeks ago, I found a guy that was interested. I went to a Project Healing Waters meeting. So I go to any vet meetings, VFW, Foreign Legion, I put it on Facebook, social media, Rob picked me up, put me on the radio here. And full transparency, I've only been on the job for a little over a month. So I'm still getting the word out about this program as far as Jefferson and Gilpin counties go.
So how would somebody reach you? Do you have a Facebook page for the Vets Court or something along those lines?
I don't yet. That's going to be something that's going to happen. But if someone just Googles Veterans Court Colorado, it'll take you to a page where it'll have my information as well. And I could give you my information right now if you like it.
Yeah. What is that website that they go to?
Well, my email is troy.lutman, Lutman, at judicial.state.co.us. And the website is just Google Colorado Veterans Court.
Okay. And I put your email in the comments so people can go back and check that out later.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, anybody out there that's listening that if you don't think you have the time or don't know if you're able to make the commitment, give me a call. Let's talk about it. There's more than one ways that you can help.
Absolutely. I like that. I tell students that all the time. They're like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry I'm gonna be late." I'm like, "Well, late's better than nothing." Just in that way in life. Every little bit counts.
Every little bit does, and work with a great bunch of guys. Like you were saying earlier, they just for whatever reason that make the transition in the civilian world or got caught up with alcohol and drugs, etc. But that sense of service is still there, and that's why vet court is so valuable.
Well, I think the one problem with the prison system is it's really hard for guys to take the next step after that. And I think that's why this program is awesome, because I know a lot of these guys kind of lose faith in the services, lose faith in the government and law enforcement. They kind of feel like they're a criminal, right? And a lot of people need to understand that, just because you screwed up, it doesn't necessarily mean you're a screw up,
Absolutely. And we want to bring back that sense of honor and dignity that they all had at one point when they went into the service. Just because they got jammed up with the law doesn't take that away from them. They're still a veteran and they deserve that honor and dignity.
So how long is the process for vet court?
Well, it can be as long as 24 months. And if I'm correct, I believe it can be as short as 14 months if you do everything absolutely correct.
So what are some of the things that you guys put these veterans through?
Well, a lot of it's treatment. We get them into sober living homes. We monitor their sobriety through urinalysis. We get them psychiatric services through the VA and outside of the VA, get them into stable housing, introduce them to benefits such as Social Security or VA benefits that they never thought they would be able to get. So again, it's not punitive at all in that sense.
That's good to hear. Just a random personal question. When I'm not asking for an exact percentage, but is there a large portion of them that have substance abuse or problems?
Yes.
Like the vast majority or almost all?
I'd say the vast majority.
Yeah. It's just something I commonly see in veteran-specific problems is self-medication on alcohol, especially, but then, other substances too.
Alcohol and other substances, and along with that is depression and PTSD,
right?
Which is more than likely the underlying cause for the substance abuse.
What I'm just going to say is I feel like so much of that is self-medicating due to other ailments from, transitioning poorly from military to civilian or traumatic experiences while serving.
Absolutely.
So it's a resource for you that I think you should write down. I'm not sure if you heard at the beginning, but I'm actually here at the Marcus Institute of Brain Health.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you're familiar at Colorado University. So we're in Aurora, and it's a 3-week program. So they go through a 1-week assessment, and it's for veterans with TBI. So if any of these veterans are going through vets court and TBI may potentially be part of the cause, finding a way to actually go through and get the treatment that you need, it's extremely helpful. I just finished up my first week, starting my second week, and unfortunately, I had 4 TBIs in the military. Now they were all stupid and my fault. I fell off a truck, I tripped and fell, crashed my motorcycle. It wasn't anything crazy, but it still affects you. And alcoholism was what I went to try to cope with everything. I've been sober for quite some time. I'll have a drink here and there, but alcohol is no longer an issue. And once I solved that issue, it was extremely helpful. And one of the things they talk about at Marcus is how alcohol can negatively affect people with TBI, and it can make it a lot harder for them to process.
Absolutely. I'd be very interested in that.
Yeah, and what you could do is I'm going to start sending veterans to Marcus now that I've been there through Warriors Next Adventure. But you can also be somebody that can start sending people there. There's an application process that we can talk about offline, so we don't have to go over all the small details.
Okay.
But it's an unbelievable program, and so far it's helped me out a lot. Just they have all the ologists, psychologists, psychiatrists, speech therapists, PTs, and these doctors are some of the best people I've met in a long time, and you can tell they truly care about what they do. So another program that you could, have on deck just in case you get veterans with TBI.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I really appreciate that.
Of course.
All right. Well, Troy, I just checked the clock. We got to start moving along. At the end of all of our guests coming aboard, we always give them about 2 minutes to go over anything we might have not asked you wanted us to. Contact info we forgot to say earlier, whatever you want. You get about 2 minutes, and I don't really time you, so it's your time to shine. Share what you want.
Well, hey, I really appreciate again you guys bringing me on here, and hopefully you learned a little something about Veterans Court. And if you take away one thing, I just want to again stress the fact that we are looking for veteran mentors. Our veteran mentors are an integral part of the program. They really help guide the guys through the program because, as all vets know, there's nothing like that vet to vet conversation and relationship. A lot of other people just don't get us. So it's really, really an important part. And if you don't think you have the time, again, just give me a call or send me an email and we can talk about that. And you can probably help in more than what you think you can. So again, I really appreciate the time and it was good talking with you guys.
Well, thank you for your time. We always appreciate that. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. And if I ever get hemmed up, I'm calling you.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks for coming on the show.
All right. Bye-bye.
I think I did that right.
There you go. Good job. So proud of
I'm
you.
staying. I know. I will continue my employment with About Face Radio for one more week.
Yeah, so my experience with Vets Court has been beautiful. The probation officer that I've been working with, her name is Noni. She's absolutely amazing. And there's a lot of vets that go through there. When I went in there was probably about 30 veterans in there. So it's an amazing program from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, and I think that I like the fact that they're trying to rehabilitate, trying to help, trying to fix the actual root of the problems. I mean, I have, through my near decade of being active, I have friends. Let me choose these words carefully because there's several different ones. I have people that I was directly with in the military. I mean, within a platoon, not just a company or a unit. Like within a platoon, there's a dude that's got fucking. He's doing, I believe, 2 life terms for murder, for multiple murders. And if you read about what happened, I didn't find out about this. I hadn't heard from him in 10 years. And one of our fellow people from our platoon sent me this link to read about it, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I guess there was this onslaught of severe substance abuse and downgrade of life. I mean, just his life was going like this, and then ended up in a state of psychosis from drugs, did some terrible things, all the way down to people with speeding tickets and everything in between. There's a ton. I don't know of one that was not in some sort of substance abuse issue.
Well, it's a crutch. I mean, the problem is, there's nothing wrong with having a beer every once in a while.
Right.
But, alcohol it's extremely perpetuated in the military community.
It's glorified.
It is.
Because the next level glorified.
What do you do when somebody's leaving? You have a party, you get drunk. What do you do when somebody comes home? You have a party and you all get drunk. What do you do on a Tuesday? You go get drunk. That's just what
do you do when you get an award and your buddy gets an award?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do when your buddy retires? What do you do when your friend's mom passed and you want to be there for him? You fucking show up with whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's so rooted in the culture. And that's why I always say alcohol, and I'm all blah alcohol, but until they get out, that's
true.
That's the 90+% that I've dealt with. The 99+%. Only dealt with a couple of drug issues.
Yeah.
Inactive. After active, I think it becomes obviously a bigger issue.
Well, then we also have the problem of opiates too.
Right. But that's internally. I feel like, and they've been addressing that problem. It's an internal problem in the VA.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know if you've experienced this, but the last year with my multiple surgeries, I've always been, I don't fucking want a painkiller. Let me just take some ibuprofen. Let me dry needle. Let me acupuncture. Let me do all these different things. Man, this fucking last one hurt so bad. And I was begging for a painkiller. They're here's a Tylenol. I'm like, fuck you. Look at my records.
Sure.
I repeatedly told, not filled prescriptions. Repeatedly, obviously not somebody with an issue with opiates, or somebody that even slightly abuses painkillers. I'm like, please give me a fucking painkiller. And I'd been out of this surgery. I think it was day 4 or something like that. And I'm like, fuck, I need a painkiller. It's only 4 days out from back to back, major surgeries.
Well, they very often over or under prescribed.
It's almost one extreme or the other. And I'm like, I think day-to-day use is a different thing than getting through an acute injury, But yeah, they just can't get right. Whether it's too far left or too far right, or too far forward, too far back. The VA just cannot get right. I feel like.
Well, I think when you can get to the point where you can manage your pain without opiates, without drugs, without stuff like that, it makes life easier. But
Absolutely.
a lot of guys struggle really bad with that shit.
Yeah.
And that's when people start to get in trouble and going to jail, getting arrested, shit like that.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily means they're a bad person. This means they need some help.
I mean, you know this. Most of yours know, but I've been sober for a while too, and it's hindered. It hindered so much of me getting better to feel better than I was when I was medicated on alcohol. You know what I mean? Because yes, there is truly this thing where alcohol kind of numbs and things go away a little bit. I'm not going to deny that, right? But like truly having it go away is a different feeling.
Sure.
It's a different level of health too. I talk a lot about the clarity of mind.
The clarity of mind is one of the most
and
important
it's not
things
from
you get.
being sober for a week. It's not from being sober for a month. When you have longer term sobriety, the way your brain functions, and it's noticeable where you're like, fuck, my brain's just sharper. Like I have things figured out better. Like things just are much more clear. So
Then if you pair it with a healthy diet and a healthy workout routine like jiu-jitsu, and speaking of jiu-jitsu, that's actually how we met. But I tell veterans about We Defy Foundation all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Warriors Next Adventure, we have a small jiu-jitsu program, and we'll pay for a veteran's first month because we don't have the funding like We Defy does.
Right.
But We Defy Foundation, for those of you who don't know, if you're 80% or more disabled through the VA, We Defy Foundation will pay for a full year scholarship of jiu-jitsu.
Full year.
And the only thing is you got to go twice a week. That's the important part. And, you're not really going to get much out of jiu-jitsu going once a week anyway.
No, I always believe in the 2 times a week. For your average human being, I think 2 times a week is perfect because most generally I find that whatever an academy is doing for a particular week, that's usually the theme of the week. Mm-hmm. And I always believe that the mind learns better by seeing something once, not having any understanding, just having an introduction to it, and then supporting that introduction.
And having the repetitions.
Right.
Repetitions
Absolutely.
is so important.
Obviously, it's great when you go 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week and your body can handle that, but I really do think the 2 is the key.
It's
and I also think for the therapeutic side of it, it's the key too.
Well, again, if you look at a lot of people who end up going to vet sport, right? A lot of them are felons, right? I think he said it has to be a felony for vet sport. I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
I think he was saying it was more serious, more common.
Okay. So if you think about it like that, if a lot of these guys had healthier routines, had better people that they hang out with, because that's, you show me the 5 people you surround yourself with, I'll show you your future.
Yeah.
And you meet all kinds of people. And
same thing our parents told us when we were little kids.
Yeah, I know, right?
Imagine that, right? All right, well, guys, we have a very fun night tonight because we have 2 guests. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in, if I can do this.
The guys are making food back at the house. They're making enchiladas, man.
Bringing our
back
second Joe's.
enchiladas.
Coach JP, welcome to the show.
On? Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you great. You have a nice
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Hear you better than you can hear us.
I hear you guys pretty well.
Okay, good. I like it.
I like your podcast setup, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about you. Are you a veteran?
Yeah. So first of all, I want to say I was completely enjoying the conversation. I've done jiu-jitsu for a couple of years now, and I've been looking into We Defy. So thanks for talking about that and enjoying the conversation. And yes, I am a veteran. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, served from 2008 to 2014, 3rd Battalion, 1st Marines on Afghanistan. I'm on Pendleton, deployed to Afghanistan. I was infantryman as well as a scout sniper. Got out in 2014 and been living this life ever since.
What years were you in, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I was in from 2008 until 2014.
Okay, cool. I was going to say I worked with 3-1 in OEF 2 and 3.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Well, I wasn't, but we occupied a small fire base together.
Nice.
So very cool. And you were in the Scout Sniper section. I like that. That's where I spent most of my career. I'm an Army sniper, but yeah.
Yeah, we just got rid of ours, apparently. The Marine Corps leadership has decided recently that they want to phase out Scout Sniper communities. So in the last year, they've been working on phasing them out of the Marine Corps. I think it's an error in their judgment, but I do see it coming back eventually.
I was in the Air Force.
Doesn't matter right now. Chair Force.
See, I don't see why they would do that though, because it's obviously useful.
Yeah.
It doesn't make
so within the community, we know a lot of things that the rest of the general public doesn't know. But basically, right now at Pentagon leadership, there's someone up there that was recently promoted that has had a lot of anger towards the Scout Sniper community for years. Someone that wasn't able to make it in, and unfortunately, throughout the years, he's carried this personal vendetta, and he's made it very publicly clear. This isn't a secret that he was aiming to get rid of Scout Sniper communities, and it sounds like he's been able to do that as of now. Hopefully, there's some more changes that happen, but we'll see.
Well, it's going to be just like when they tried to phase out the A-10s. As soon as they tried to phase them out, next thing you know, oh shit, this is the best plane that we have.
Yeah.
Right. And I was thinking the same thing where they might get phased out and then brought back at a later time.
Yeah,
But,
for sure.
all right. Well, we gotta get going on your time here. So, what do you do now? Tell us about you and what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, about a while back, about a year or two back, I started an online coaching company. I'm a personal fitness instructor by trade, but I was doing it mostly online, especially because of COVID. But I made the decision about a year ago to specifically transition towards coaching veterans. And the reason I did that is because I realized that what helped me was that gateway drug of working out, right? So I had a lot of problems in my life. I was overweight. I was drinking. I know you guys are laughing because I think you guys were talking about that earlier.
Gateway drug. It's a good one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I was drinking. I was overweight. I weighed 230 pounds. I was literally driving home from work, and instead of taking the highway, which would have taken me like 10 minutes to get home, I was taking the streets because I knew that there was a McDonald's on the way home. So I would stop at McDonald's, and I was ruining my life. I wasn't dealing with my PTSD. I wasn't dealing with my problems. I ended up, my marriage fell apart, got divorced, almost, decided to make the worst decision a veteran can make. And then slowly but surely, I started changing my life, and a lot of it started with working out. And then I started taking care of my health a little bit more. And then little by little, I realized that I don't need to have a drink every night. And then before you know it, I was able to actually get my life back in order, right? So now I coach veterans, and I have all sorts of veterans in my program, and it's very much different. But I'll go ahead and pass it back to you guys if you have any questions about that.
So what kind of coaching do you do? Is it weight coaching? Is it life coaching? What is the range of coaching that you do?
So initially it started as just a fitness program. So I develop a specific workout routine that's going to work for the individual depending on their lifestyle, their availability, their level of just how much experience they have with weightlifting, to just get them healthier, get them moving, get them more active. I started doing the nutrition piece as well. Got the certification for nutrition, started doing nutrition as well, meal prepping. It's evolved them now, and we actually do a lot of mindset work. I have mindset modules in the program. We've built a community, which is just the people that are part of this program, and they're on this journey. So they hold each other accountable. We celebrate wins. We have Thriving Thursdays where I have sometimes guests on, very much like this, that will talk to all the veterans that are in the group. But the primary thing is that it's fitness coaching as the thing that gets them started, but we help them with accountability. Most veterans, they've worked out before, right? At some point in time, they've worked out. It's not about that. It's not that they don't know what to do. It's just that the accountability piece is gone. The community piece is gone. They don't have that morning formation to go and do a run and go live together. They end up losing themselves a little bit. Before you know it, they're so far off, they have a hard time working their way back.
So how would somebody get a hold of you?
So I'm on social media at JP, the veteran coach, on all social media. If you shoot me a message on my DMs, I always reply to everybody. And on my TikTok and Instagram, my application link for my program is in my bio. And if you apply there, let me know you saw me here, and that way, I can give you guys a special deal.
I love it.
Cool. Very cool. All right. Well, we are getting towards the end of our night, but I still want to give you a little bit of time. If there's anything we glossed over, any contact we forgot to put out there, anything you wanted us to ask you and we didn't, now you get to answer it any way you want. So you get a little bit of time just to yourself.
Cool. Thank you. So I just want to say that I was listening to your guys' conversation, and a lot of the way that the training starts, right, is someone comes in and They say they want fitness help and this and that. And then about 2 to 3 weeks in, we do our first check-in, and then they realize, like, I have a problem with alcohol, right? Something that they didn't realize and that they didn't even identify until they started to try to work out. We have them keep track of everything. So they see, like, 2-3 weeks in, like, they've been drinking every single night, and it's something that they didn't identify as a problem. So we do make it very normal in the military. And then when you get out, that vice becomes an issue. In the military, we don't get we don't establish a normal baseline. Our baseline is whatever we're surrounded with. So because we're surrounded with a bunch of other dudes or gals, and the norm is drinking to cope with our feelings instead of talking about them, because when you talk about your feelings in the military, you know, people judge you, and it shouldn't be that way, but that's the way it is, because you need to be a mean war-fighting machine at the time, right? So we get so used to that when we get out, we don't realize that we have a problem with alcohol, or we have a problem with smoking, or we have a problem with dealing with our emotions. Therefore, we're very irritable and we're angry. So sometimes the program does start as like, we're going to focus on this and this for your workouts. This is going to be your nutrition plan. But I have them do their check-ins, and then that's when they come to that realization, like, maybe I'm not as healthy as I wish I was, or I thought I was, you know, mindset-wise. And that's why we do a lot of mindset work. We do Mindset Mondays, where we talk about a specific topic on Mondays. And every check-in that we do, I have them kind of do a full assessment of how their last 2 weeks went and what wins they had, not just in the gym, but personal. So I want to say thank you guys for what you're doing. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. I really do appreciate it. And I think you guys hit it on the nail.
I believe in a lot of that, creating different normalities and things like that. I talk about that a lot, because we can slowly let things become such a normality in our life that it's really hard to like get rid of. But it's also not that hard to make a new normality, you know, at the same time. So I appreciate your part of that. I think about that and talk about that a lot. Thanks for having us on. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. And we'll stay in touch.
Sounds good. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, sir.
All right. I'm going to have to go check your stuff out. I like it. I got a couple other organizations that we work with, so I'm trying to add on as much as we can. So I'll be checking him out for sure.
Yeah, I like that where he talks about the norm stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's so many things we normalize in the military, and there's so many things we can normalize when we get out that isn't good. And that's one of the things I've said this so many fucking times, so I'm a broken record, but I don't know if I ever talked to you about this. One of the things that drives me nuts is when veterans get out of the military and they go into what they think is a normality for the veteran, rather than like, and they're like not a soldier anymore. I'm like, dude, there are so many parts of active duty life, or even active duty life, that is so positive. You're working out 5 days a week. You're eating 3 squares a day. You know, you have to be up 5 days a week, at least at the exact same time, and it's not at 9 a.m.
It's almost like, I don't have to do it anymore.
And all of a sudden there's a beard, fat, long hair, shit tons of booze, lots of staring at the screen, and forgetting all these normalities. And I'm not saying you have to get a fresh haircut every Monday morning or every Sunday night for Monday morning formation. You don't need a high and tight for, you know, more Monday 6 a.m. Okay, but you can get a haircut. You can clean up your beard. You can go out and take a walk. You know, if you're super injured, you can always do something.
Well, what I tell veterans all the time, it's never too late to reinvent yourself. You know, I've reinvented myself multiple times throughout my life.
Absolutely.
And that's how you completely turn it around. You create yourself in a version of you that you want to be, and you go fucking do it.
What's great is when you reinvent yourself and you weren't on a bottom hill. Mm-hmm. Like you reinvented yourself and you were like, hey, this could be better. Let me do another reinvention. Boom, life got better.
Yeah. All
of a sudden, all these things start opening up. And I think, you know, we talked about clarity of mind a little bit ago, but all of a sudden, when you have a healthier mind and a healthier body, I swear, like your creativity, all your things like start working where you're like, oh, I could do this. And like all of a sudden those reinventions are building to a higher level than ever been before. I think you're doing that.
I'm trying.
We've
what I'm here for.
Talked about all these different things. And you're definitely doing that. So, folks, we are over on time, but we're going to do 2 different things because they're important for this show. Oops. There it is. One of them is, you know, we do our safety brief.
Sure.
So you prepared to do an item?
We all
get one.
I got one.
Okay, good. Go for it.
Don't add to the population. Don't take away from the population.
Right. If you're active or reserve or whatever sort of component, look, let's avoid those Article 15s, those UCMJs. When you're at your local watering hole, there is no reason to chug the fishbowl.
I mean, it's fun, but I mean, you don't have to.
You don't have to. You can just be a functional, normal person, okay?
There's another
nothing
thing
good comes
too.
out of the fishbowl.
There's another thing too. It's okay to not be okay. That's another thing that I like to tell a lot of vets. Like if you're struggling, it's okay. Just reach out and get help. You know, I tell people all the time, quit being a bitch and go get help.
Yeah,
It's
seriously.
one of the most important things you do because courage, you know, reaching out and saying you need help is one of the most courageous things you can do.
And when you do reach out and it's your buddy and you start telling him all this stuff and he's like, hey, I know this program, you should go try it out. Don't just fucking say thanks for listening to me or say nothing and just ignore that something was presented for you. All these programs, all these things are for you. Nobody else. It's for you, not your buddy. It's for you. Take advantage of it. On that note,
Love it.
we're going to close out with our Never Forgotten. I found one that was from today's date. So anyway, Stanley Lewis Washburn, KIA, U.S. Army. He was the son of John Washburn and late Blanche Brickman Washburn, formerly of the Alexander Road, Batavia, New York. Stanley was born in Batavia, May 9th, 1919. He attended Batavia schools and was employed by a contracting firm. He entered service January 26, 1942, trained at Fort Knox. His overseas service was with reconnaissance scouts with headquarters 1st Battalion in the 33rd Armored Regiment and was believed to be with General Courtney Hodges. They landed in France shortly after D-Day and took part in the sweep across France after the Allied armies broke out of the Normandy area. PFC Washburn wrote home his motorcycle had been shot out from underneath him, and he had a new machine for scouting duty. PFC Stanley Washburn was killed on reconnaissance duty September 23rd, 1944, at the age of 25. He was the first from this area to die on German soil. He was awarded the Bronze Star Medal, Conspicuous Service Cross, and the Purple Heart. He was survived by his parents and 3 sisters. His mother is since deceased. His father lives at they gave his address. That's strange.
Yeah.
Folks, the man was 3 years younger than me, died at 25. Just remember that there's a lot of our brothers and sisters that have given their lives way before they should be done enjoying this life. Let's never let them be forgotten. On that note, Nick, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And also, folks, check this out. Rob is out of the studio next week, and so Nick graciously volunteered to do 1 hour of stand-up comedy.
No, I don't know about that.
Actually, no. He.
I don't want you guys to get canceled.
He volunteered to sit in with me and co-host for next week's show. We have some fun guest stuff lined up. And some fun bits that are more appropriate for next week than this week that we're just sitting on. So I'll see you next Monday night, 1800 hours. Till then, have a great night with your family.